What's up, guys? Welcome to GESC Thailand. We have ourselves SA Dota. It's in the grand scheme of GESC, and there's a whole bunch of qualifiers, but you know what? Screw all of that. That doesn't matter. We got Infamous, we got Mad Kings going to be going head-to-head. Elimination on the line, as both these two teams did get knocked down from their matches yesterday. But before we get into that, guys, I'm Mike Loris. I'm on a new computer right now, so everything should be really shiny, should be really nice. The audio might not be perfect. The video should be staying at 60 FPS. If anything's wrong, please tell me, because this is the first time I'm actually streaming on this computer. So there's a very high chance that everything looks terrible, sounds awful, all that stuff. So it's on you guys, not me, to let me know if anything is wrong. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, Infamous and Mad Kings, definitely some heavy hitters in this South American qualifiers. On the still in the upper bracket side of things, you got T-Show as well as SG Esports. So yeah, pretty much all the big guys are here in this tournament, and we'll get to see what these teams think about this new patch. Again, they did play yesterday for I think it was just a best of 3 each, and I think they both ran its full course. I might be wrong about that. I was casting at the same time, but yeah, there was a lot of Dota yesterday. So we'll see what these teams want to pick up this time. As taking a quick look at the bans, Underlord going to be banned out. Rather interesting. I'm not really huge on the hero, although I do think the hero is situationally very powerful. I don't think he's first pick powerful. I mean, compare him to the heroes that we currently see right now. And, I mean, I'd rather have a Tiny on my team. That's just me, man. I'd rather have a Sand King on my team. I feel like Underlord, as powerful as he can be, is kind of like a, let's say, like a 40% hero that can be really strong in certain situations, but, you know, on average is more so on the weaker end of things. Of course, that's just me. I'm a hater. What are you going to do about it? Infamous side, Tiny with that Sand King. So stun combos abound. Definitely heroes that, well, first of all, get shut down pretty hard by the Disruptor. That's not fun. But definitely good heroes at killing off a Gyrocopter. Just being able to get right into his face and stun lock him or just insta-kill him. Let's be honest, with Tiny, there's some pretty high burst power with these Infamous heroes. And as far as early game power is concerned, they have it in spades. Mad Kings, on the other hand, are going to go for a little bit of a slower route here. The Naga Siren has already been banned out, so Infamous don't have to worry about that combo popping up right now. But Disruptor and the Gyrocopter is a little bit more control-y, is a little bit more slow. So we're probably going to see Mad Kings trying to farm up, whereas Infamous are going to try to rush for their Blink Daggers, rush for their initiation items, and try to crash in really hard while Mad Kings are not quite yet ready. That being said, Mad Kings do have a Gyrocopter, so they will be able to farm pretty rapidly. And if team fights are really going to come in early, you got Call Down, you got the Rocket Barrage, you got the Static Storm. Again, you're looking at two melee heroes who are very, very dependent on being able to combo their spells. So any sort of combo breaker with the Static Storm, especially up against Tiny in particular, Static Storm is an absolutely fantastic tool. You have yourself a little bit of fighting power. It does seem like that's probably going to be what this game comes down to, at least looking at these early picks, is can Infamous crack Mad Kings? Or, you know, they could always deviate away. I mean, you could see the Tiny Sand King even go towards a dual offlane type of capacity. Haven't seen that very often with those two specifically, because usually Tiny offlane doesn't need all that much help. But, yeah, you could definitely have some options there for Infamous if they're looking to play this game a little more aggressive, get someone else for the safe lane, and then try to play it a little bit slower. Let's be honest, there are a lot of carries from the safe lane who will just straight up beat a Gyrocopter. Different damage types and all that, like, you know, Gyrocopter's AoE and heroes like Terrorblade or Juggernaut are a little more single target focused. Juggernaut is banned out though, so can't do that now, can you, Infamous? They'll take up Bane along with the Sand King, pretty much the tried and true combo. This Disruptor pick though is looking incredibly solid. The downside of the Disruptor pick in general, like the reason why you wouldn't want to pick him up, is because he's a little bit lacking in the early game power department. He will be able to harass and poke very well. Thunderstrike does a lot of damage. But as far as actually getting kills are concerned, he doesn't really do it to the same degree as a hero like Bane or a Sand King. So Mad Kings don't really have that early game power coming out of their Disruptor necessarily. They will have Disruptor Gyrocopter, which is a little bit more powerful because you can use the control from Disruptor to actually get kills on those heroes, and if you add any other additional hero source of damage, like any reasonable amount at all, then yeah, you could probably get some pretty easy kills. But again, you need a lot of damage to kill off these infamous heroes. First 2 picks, 2 strength heroes, 2 bruisers who are going to be in your face. Third pick, a Bane, probably one of the tankiest support heroes, like 5 support heroes that are actually picked up nowadays. I mean, Bane has, how much? He has like 640, I think, just off the top of my head. That's probably not right, but I'm gonna say it. 640 base HP with the brain sap. Like, this guy is absolutely massive, and his stats are all even, because that's what Ice Frog decided Bane should be like. So he has a lot of armor as well. So he's a tough nut to crack. If you're gonna crack that nut, though, Elder Titan is definitely the type of hero you want. Again, you're looking at 1, a lot of team fight setup for the Mad King side. 2, you're looking for you know, a little bit of safety for the Gyrocopter, a little bit of combo breaking power. Disruptor, of course, does add that with the Static Storm, but Elder Titan as well, from a forward position, is able to aid in that endeavor as well. If your ally gets jumped on by a Blink Dagger Sand King or a Blink Dagger Tiny, then, you know, just stomp them. Another thing that Bane has to worry about, because as great as Fiend's Grip is, it's not all that great when there's a Glimpse, which is, well, let's say global range. I mean, for all intents and purposes, for what Bane is concerned with, the Glimpse is pretty much global, so that's a cancel for the Grip. And of course, Elder Titan has incredible range effectiveness with his Spirit and Stomp combo, so Mad Kings definitely will be able to get through and try to combo break Infamous pretty well. BKBs will be very important for Infamous's cores. Tiny doesn't really want to get a BKB, though, so that's a little bit awkward for him. It seems like, you know, he may be able to muscle through it just by virtue of being tiny. He's really bulky inherently, but any other core that Infamous picks up right now, I'm expecting the Tiny to go towards the off lane, although it could very well be a safe lane Tiny. You gotta make sure that those heroes are more than happy to pick up BKB, because if you're stuck in the Static Storm and you don't have Magic Immunity, Bane, Sand King, they're not gonna save you. They're not gonna do jack to help you out there. So you have to be able to protect yourself as that mid lane core at least. Alternatively, just get initiation, crash in hard enough so that you could be able to pick off the Disruptor. Heroes like Storm Spirit, much more often seen in the SA region. So, I mean, yeah, it's a hero that gets completely screwed over by Static Storm if he's caught in it. But usually you just go in and kill the guy, and then Disruptor doesn't have Static Storm because he's dead. It's a great way of handling it. They'll go for the Shadow Fiend in a pretty tried and true method, but of course Shadow Fiend did get hit a little bit by the nerfs. I don't know if it's a lot by the nerfs. He did get, I believe it was the stacking component of the raises. The extra damage, whatever you want to call it, that did get hit a little bit. So, yeah, it's not really, it's like level 4, it's still the same, but you just get less damage from the earlier raises. It sucks for the Shadow Fiend, but you know what? Shadow Fiend is a hero that can play that aggressive style, is a hero that will be able to really just lay it in versus a Gyrocopter and versus an OD as well, and is a hero that is more than happy to pick up BKB. In fact, he wants to pick up a BKB almost every single game because he has that minus, like a cooldown reduction talent. So yeah, Shadow Fiend is definitely a hero that will itemize to naturally counter what Mad Kings have. Mad Kings are sticking to this slow and steady game plan, though. OD is going to add another element of team fight for the Mad King side. I do like that Beastmaster ban from the Infamous's end, but still for Mad Kings to be lacking an offlane hero, to be lacking a little bit of initiation, there's a certain Bat Rider hero that they may want to pick up right now, and that is something that Infamous can't really handle, not with these supports, at least not completely wall off. Mad Kings have a lot of power in their team fight. They have a lot, but they really don't have any way of initiating, especially when you compare them to Sand King Tiny, like Blink Dagger Shadow Fiend with Eul Scepter. That's not too uncommon either. I don't know if that's the standard build, but it's a build that we see rather frequently. They won't really have any good answers to be aggressive in their own right. They will have some pretty good defensive answers, ET, Disruptor, OD, all with the ability of stopping that aggression very quickly from Infamous, but being 100% on the responsive end of things, that's never how you want to play Dota. That's usually how you lose, because eventually you're not going to be in that perfect position, whereas your enemies, they have so much ease of execution. If Mad Kings do in fact get that Bat Rider or any other form of initiation from the offlane, then they're going to be in a much better spot.
10 seconds.
There are heroes that I'm not thinking of from the offlane that actually do that. That is not what I was thinking. That is exactly the opposite of what I was thinking. I was thinking, you know, maybe you can get a puck, get some coil action going on there, and, you know, round them up with the coil, drop a static storm on them, easy peasy, done. But a Pugna instead for the Mad King side. Probably going to be joined by the Elder Titan for a little bit, going towards that offlane. At least that's what I would expect. Not really sure about this hero. Oh god, this Pugna pick is looking pretty bad now. Infamous go for their last pick, Nyx Assassin, played by Stinger, which is kind of cool to have, you know, a guy named Stinger play bug heroes. You know, you got that going for him, which is kind of nice. But Nyx Assassin was a solid pick before the Pugna pick. You're going up against an OD. Nyx Assassin is therefore going to be on the table in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, you're also now going up against a Pugna, so being able to mana burn him, oh, it absolutely destroys him. It absolutely destroys him. And also note that Pugna, Elder Titan, these heroes typically do stand still, meaning that as an assassin you're able to do whatever the hell you want afterwards. So in general, I'm not a huge fan of Nyx Assassin. I feel like the hero is a little bit too clunky, doesn't scale quite well enough compared to other offlane options that we have seen in the past. But in this particular situation, the matchups are so insane for the Nyx Assassin. The Mad Kings, their Pugna is kind of in an awkward spot right now. You know, usually you want to be playing a Pugna when you're going to be looking for that really powerful mid-game timing, but, you know, they have an OD, they have a Gyrocopter. Their late game is going to be absolutely devastating. Pugna in a game, in a draft that's meant to push towards the late game is usually going to be fairly underwhelming. At least in that specific role, he will be able to still do Pugna things in the earlier stages because it's Pugna. But you know, it seems to be a little bit inconsistent. So I'm liking Infamous's setup quite a bit more here, especially because of this last pick, Nyx Assassin. Like, this guy, Stinger, he is going to have an absolute ball in this game. And we'll see how much he's actually able to get done. That is a very purple courier. Wow. But let's see who else is on Infamous. We got Pepita playing his Shadow Fiend mid. Feels like he plays this like only this. Does anyone else feel that way? It's like, oh, Pepita's on the Shadow Fiend. What a surprise. Now, we got Excel on the Bane over in the hands of Kataro. It's the Tiny, and that leaves Schofield's Sand King on the table. On the Mad King side, Sladden is on the Elder Titan. Moger is on the Pugna. Leo style, the mid OD. Definitely is a little bit of a not quite as flashy hero for Leo style. KZE, I'm pretty sure that's just his name, is on the Disruptor. And, of course, we do have the... I think he was drafting. Pretty sure he's the captain, or to some degree, some sort of big head honcho. It's Benjaz. I mean, you have Benjaz in your team, you're going to let him take control of the situation sometimes. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much the ancient in South American Dota. But, yeah, Leo style usually is going to be playing these really flashy heroes. OD is a little bit slower and a little bit steadier. He has, of course, carried in the past while Bounty Runes, 2-2, Sladden Schofield, collecting the dough. But for the OD mid lane, he should be doing just fine up against the SF. We'll see how much support they're actually able to lend in. Elder Titan is going to actually abandon the bottom lane and try to help out this OD a little bit more. Try to keep Pepita away from the creep wave early on. Really important for Pizza to get these early souls, and hey, he already got one, not bad at all. And Sladden, he could try to help out here, but yeah, he's punching the Bane. He's actually losing this fight. He didn't get quite as much damage from that Spirit as perhaps he thought he did. And of course, Bane, 660 HP. Damn it, I was so close. I was so close. But you know, 660 HP, 4 armor. This guy is really tough to fist fight. I don't care who you are. Seems like a necessary evil. How do we manage this mid lane? We try to slow down Pepita. That means we put in the ET, and clearly that didn't work out all that great. Over in the bottom lane, Pugna. Ooh, I like this a lot. Got an early Blightstone pickup. Obviously, he's not going to be... I don't think he's going to be building that into anything, but just does help you quite a bit in just chipping out the Nyx Assassin. Of course, Nyx Assassin still has a very broken amount of regeneration. He still has a decent amount of armor, but hey, every little bit helps. And looking at Pugna's attack range, like, yeah, he can actually chip out the Nyx Assassin pretty decently. You can see already 1 Tango is left in his inventory right now. And oh, Sladden actually grabs a little bit of damage this time. He's going to start punching down Stinger. Ooh, gotta watch out for that stapler, dude. That is going to hurt. And in the meantime, up towards top lane, it is going to be the Tiny going up against Gyrocopter Disruptor, with, of course, Schofield's help. But Schofield decided to pick a fight with Benjaz, and it's gonna land a missile on him. Should be just fine. Doesn't do that much damage, right? Oh, here comes Disruptor. Thunderstrike, you're dead, bro. Are you dead? Oh, he's dead. Was the bounty rune worth it? Was it worth it? It probably wasn't worth it. He probably should have just let the Gyrocopter be. But still, despite losing the Sand King in this top lane, not really all that bad. Tiny has a massive, massive damage advantage over the Gyrocopter. He could do that as well, which is kind of obnoxious. But 48 damage going up against the 83 with Quelling Blade on the Tiny is just so disgusting. That's why we see 11-8 on the Tiny versus the 8-0 for the Gyrocopter. And again, this is really where the lack of early game power from the Disruptor comes into play, or rather doesn't come into play, because there's nothing he can really do to scare off Tiny. Like, yeah, you could Thunderstrike him a little bit and try to poke at him, but if you get a little bit too close, then he'll just turn around and straight kill you. You really have to play a very delicate game as a Disruptor, period, and in a lane where your carry, or your one position hero, really needs help because he's getting just dumpstered in the CS department. It's like, you don't really have any other options. Really rough time to be in. Looks like we may have a toss back onto a Sand King. That field is not even going to catch Kitaro. There's the Burrow Strike. There is no mana for an Avalanche just yet, but he will eat the Mango, land the Avalanche, and get the kill. Kitaro's taking a little bit of damage here, but Sladin, he's pushing a little bit too far forward. Another Burrow Strike, not quite up yet from Schofield. They will just set up on Benjaz. They will kill him off. And force a rotation from this ET back up towards his top lane. Schofield gonna pick again another fight with this Disruptor. This time will not die to the Thunderstrike, because that would be embarrassing to do that twice. But yeah, this lane is pretty rough. ET now kind of has to stay up here. And that's not all that bad. Pugna can definitely hold his own versus the Nyx Assassin. But we already have seen earlier Stinger just dumping mana burns into that Pugna, having so much intelligence growth. I believe that's it should still be the highest in the game, intelligence growth-wise. So, wakey, Gyrocopter, you're gonna get tossed into no Sand King. Where's the Sand King? Oh, okay, that was a little bit mistimed. I thought they were gonna do it again. I was a little bit wrong, but that's okay. Sometimes it's not about getting the kill, sometimes it's about sending a message. And that message is, you're not gonna have fun in this lane. And I'm pretty sure that message has been received loud and clear. 9 for 2 versus the 22 for 12. Dude, feels bad, man. Nothing you do about this as a Gyrocopter except for try to sneak in for them CS, but you gotta be careful because Tiny's initiation range is actually very high. Like Avalanche, this is how far you can cast it, but the circle extends a little bit even beyond that. And of course, if you get a little bit close, you can get Sand King tossed on you, which is not fun at all. In the meantime, we also have Pepita winning the early game versus Leo style right now. Nerfs on Shadow Fiend be damned. Over in the bottom lane, Stinger is, not having an absolutely fantastic time. He's not crushing the Pugna, but he's doing very well for himself. Pepita is looking like he's going to go down here, actually. Well, maybe not. Here comes a turnaround. Couple raises. Pepita gets the kill, then dies. Sladin's taking tower shots. That will kill him off. And it will be a dive from Mad Kings. Not all that terrible, honestly. Like, yeah, they lose 2 for 1. But they're able to kill off an SF, which means he loses a couple souls there. But this is going to be a wave for Excel. The wave is going to be mostly just, well, not even denied, just kind of thrown out into the ether there for the Mad Kings end of things. So, it's not terrible for Mad Kings, but it's certainly not ideal. Just looking at the CS discrepancy, Gyrocopter, as far as cores are concerned, is obviously going to be on the bottom, and still the SF and OD very competitive, and in the bottom lane, it's essentially a wash. But I think this lane is just going to get better for Stinger over time, and it's just going to get worse for the Pugna over time, which is very uncharacteristic for Pugna matchups. You get more mana regeneration, you get more levels, and then Pugna just typically destroys whoever he's up against. But you know what? You can have all the mana regeneration in the world. You're still going to get absolutely annihilated by this mana burn. And if the Nyx Assassin has mana, which he should because he has a soul ring, then you're not going to have any mana, he will have mana, and then you're just in a nightmare. Feels really bad. Now, what can Mad Kings do to get out of this? They can just wait for levels. That's really all they can do at this stage. Their rotations are going to be really lackluster. OD is not a ganker. That's just not how he plays Dota. Gyrocopter can make some rotations. That's not an impossibility. But generally, you rotate out of this top lane, your tower is going to die because you're going up against a Tiny. So you kind of have to stay here. And that kind of sucks. So pretty much right now for Mad Kings, they can do nothing but just sit here and take it. And that's not a good place to be, guys. Like, in any game, ever, if you're just sitting there taking it, like, that's not good. Maybe it's, like, the worst in fighting games, because that means you're literally just dying. But, speaking of literally dying, Pugna's dead. Oh, Pugna's not dead just yet. Turns around for the life drain onto Schofield. And it looks like with the glimpse back, Schofield is in a little bit of trouble now. Trying to waste time for another burrow strike. Can't quite get it. And Moger is going to survive. The Nick Assassin falls just a little bit short. That was his vendetta as well. Should be able to escape this, however. There is ET with a little bit of extra damage here, but this is an Assassin we're talking about here with no extra glimpse. Stinger even pick a little bit of a fight here with Sladin. But in the end, everyone will back off from the dire side of things. If the Jumper does get caught with the burrow strike, Schofield shouldn't have enough sticking power to actually kill off this Raptor man. Stinger's coming in a little bit too slowly, though, but Moger still with his survival. And that turnaround. It's not going to be, you know, the best pick-off. That's not going to equalize things to get them out of this kind of hole that they've dug themselves in right now. But you know what? It's something. Keep the Sand King down, kill him off a handful of times. That's Blink Dagger you don't have to worry about for, let's say, another minute. It doesn't sound very impressive, and honestly, it's not that impressive. But you know what? When you're in this situation, beggars can't be choosers. They're going to lose their top tower. 2k lead now for the infamous side. I'm pretty sure... Oh, never mind. Okay. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Pizza really favors the casting combo Shadow Fiend build. But this is exactly not that. He's going drums S and Y. He's just looking to smork things. And you know what? I like this build a little bit more. I feel like you don't really need to go all in combo casting SF. Like, you just have to be able to land a couple of raises, and then you just right-click everyone. Especially when you're talking about going up against a Gyrocopter, man. You could do whatever the hell you want in your build, but it's all good. Oh, that's not all good. Leo Style is going to, let's say, dodge that. He's going to get put to sleep. Field does go up, and Excel's going to peel off to the side to try to save his allies here. Unfortunately, he is going to go down, should just pop out of the Spirit Realm. Oh, still alive, and then dead. A little bit of a failed attempt there. Stinger's first Vendetta rotation. Not really doing all that much. Nick Assassin, I mean, 3 points in the Impale. If you miss it, it's not really good now, is it? But you can see, in the meantime, what is it costing them? Maybe they're Sand King, because he is dusted, though the Burrow Strike's going to get him out of range of that life drain. Sladin's still sticking on him. And Schofield, ooh, that little move up to the north may have cost him a little bit. There is another Spirit in 1 second. I don't think that's going to be lethal damage. He's, especially if he goes that way with it. That's not right. But Vendetta number 2 is up and ready. Can't possibly miss. He's running down a corridor of trees. Mana Burn for the kill. Not exactly as impressive as getting a kill on the OD, but again, beggars choosers. Moger still does have the damage to kill off towers. However, okay, well, Stinger's going to rotate in. He doesn't actually have any mana, so he's pretty useless right now. But, ooh, Sladin's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, there's no mana. Oh, there was like 2 mana off of a Burrow Strike. I think that would have killed the Eldritine. You landed Burrow Strike, you landed Impale, and he's probably just trapped in the trees at that point. Ah, well, it happens, man. It happens. Sometimes the game just says, F you, you're not going to get that spell cast off. It's just not going to happen, man. They're going to start to make rotation here on the Tiny. Pushed out really, really far. Stomp is going to land, but status resistance, it's a thing. Fields goes up, is going to keep him in the call down. Kataro going to try to turn and fight. Does still have some wand charges right now with that toss. I don't think he has enough damage to actually get the kill on Benyaz. Will instead try to toss up Sladin and does a lot of damage, but not quite enough to get the kill. And that rotation, everyone and their mom going up towards that top lane to kill off the Tiny is going to be at least rewarded in that kill, so they get that. But again, these lanes elsewhere, Infamous, yeah, they take that loss, and the loss of Tiny is for sure a pretty significant one. You do still have a Shadow Fiend farming, you still have the bottom lane being occupied by the Sand King, trying to rush towards that Blink Dagger, and that smoke, was it only on Sladin? That couldn't possibly have been a personal... I don't know, it may have been only on him, but it's not on anyone right now, so it doesn't really matter. Stinger, making this area his hunting grounds, is only working with 1 level of Mana Burn right now. Obviously, he's only level 7, but I'm a little bit surprised to see him go for extra points in Spike Carapace over extra points in Mana Burn. Like, usually it's just a pure matchup thing. Like, you get Impale because it's Impale. And then you get Spike Carapace with 1 point in Mana Burn, even sometimes 0 points. But you're going up against an OD, you're going up against a Pugna. How much int growth does OD have? Yeah, 2.7 is actually really low. But, I mean, it gets a lot of intelligence, so it ends up doing a lot of damage. That's the counter from Nyx Assassin. That's why you pick him up versus OD. But, you know, I guess 3.5 to 4 to 4.5, like, that's not very great scaling. It's all about that cooldown. Like, 28 seconds minus 8 seconds every time. That's a ridiculous amount of cooldown reduction per level. Dust is out. I think Stinger actually saw that, and, well, Dust didn't really do them any favors now. Stinger maybe glimpsed back right now. There are a lot of heroes converging on his position, but he already got his kill, so if he dies, he's not too concerned. Like, he already has... Ooh, wow. Okay, you're able to spike Carapace. Interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, denied to the neutrals? No. Prowler's the one time you want Prowlers to do something useful for you, and they screw you over. So they kill up an Assassin in exchange for their ET. I mean, farm priority-wise, like, you would think that's good, but, you know, you lose your own life as an Assassin. You already got that kill by yourself. Your allies are pushing elsewhere. They're getting farm. Not a big deal. And, of course, they get the Pugna on top of that. And they might just get this tower on top of that. So, overall, that exchange from Stinger is going to be very, very worth it here for Infamous. Pepita with the drums just wants to hit things, and looks like he wants to hit the tower first. Excel is going to be left behind a little bit. Tries to TP out. Looks like a glimpse is going to be there as they do pull off the Nightmare. Bane is going to get drained out. Brain Sap! Or, don't Brain Sap. Okay, you don't have to, man. You can do you. Leo Style, though, is going to get ganked over in mid lane. Does turn around for a Sand King kill, but does lose his life. Ultimately, Infamous do lose 2 supports, but to gain an OD kill. Still, these trades are, I would say, almost universally worth it for the Infamous side. Putting a little bit of pressure now onto this tower, and this tower is not long for this world. ET can stall. Disruptor can't stall at all. Like, he can't really help out the situation. This tower's going to die. How the hell did Moger... Okay, I saw him get a tower, and he was, like, over here in lane. Looks like he was able to push down bot tier 1. Not too bad from the Pugna. Stinger glimpsed back into a Static Storm. Static Storm, oh, with the Decrepify Blast, not quite enough. Can they imprison him from the high ground? It's over, Anakin. They have the high ground. Stinger's down. They got him. Wrong place, wrong time there from the Assassin. A little bit short on that mana pool as well. So just a little bit unfortunate for him. But the pushing from Mad Kings can't be ignored. Level 4 Blast, Ether Lens on the Pugna. So he could push from a very safe distance. Not a ton of mana regeneration, but if he's lucky, just get a couple of Essence Aura procs, and like that one right there. You don't really need a lot of mana regeneration items. Absolutely fantastic for the Pugna. I guess it's kind of nice for the ET too. Like, he kind of likes the extra mana, but you know, it's not game breaking. In the meantime, Schofield still trying to get that Blink Dagger put together. Pretty close to it. 14, 15 minute timing, and as I say that, he might just die here. Oh, Burrow strikes into the trees. Moger Decrepify Blast is kind of going to fail here, but Schofield's on the run. He's going to get cut off by a Disruptor. Who is straight up... Never mind, he just walked right by. Glimpse? No, he'll just walk right in. So he passed the Disruptor, now he has to juke Benjaz. He jukes Benjaz as well. Oh, the Glimpse with the Spirit. Okay, Schofield. That was kind of cool. Not quite good enough, though. In the meantime, Leo Style is going to, let's say, again, dodge that Impale. That wasn't a miss, that was a dodge. But that was so close to being great, and now his Blink Dagger is going to get pushed back like another minute. They're going to glimpse back the Tiny. Decrepify, call down, not quite layered perfectly here, but the Tiny's still stuck. And again, no one is going to save you once you get caught. From the Infamous side, they just don't have that. Excel also caught and is going to go down. Benjaz grabs a double kill. Net worth lead for Infamous starting to dry up here as Mad Kings are just 5-manning around the map. And Infamous really just don't want to do anything until they get this Blink Dagger on the Sand King. But at this point, their hand may just be forced. They will lose a tier 1. Mad Kings, how much mana does Moger have? Quite a bit. He can slide to a side lane, but top is being pushed out by Pepita, so that's not really going to be very time efficient. Bottom lane, very far pushed down their own lane as well. Looks like they'll just dissolve that 5-man and each go their separate ways. Stinger still looking. Does have level 1 Vendetta still. Does pick up level 9, and he's still going for that Spike Carapace. He wants to go for Leo Style right now. The chase is on for Pepita. And the chase is now off, going the other way. And now they're not sure what's going on. Stinger You've missed like every single impale. Land this one for honor and retribution. Okay. It was good. There's no point in landing the impale if you can just mana burn the OD. And that did a lot of damage. Could have done more, just saying. And oh, you'll land the impale on the disruptor. That's all good, man. Avalanche, no toss necessary. He is super dead. Can they get anyone else here? Grip is still up. I think it was hasn't been used yet, actually. Stinger is really, really difficult to just initiate with the Nyx Assassin from this angle without using Vendetta. And he's going to get Decrepify Blasted. Does return a lot of damage into the Pugna. Now here comes the Burrow Strike onto 2. Epicenter being channeled as well, and that will kill off that OD. And now the Grip. Where you going, ET? There are a couple of raises with his name on it. Never mind, just a couple of right clicks with his name on it. That's good too. They'll take him down, land the Impale onto the Gyrocopter with a toss follow-up, couple more right clicks, and Benja is going to go down as well. The Static Storm is going to be deployed, but only Bane gets caught with another Avalanche, couple more raises. This Disruptor is not looking all that hot either. He's going to get Mana Burn and right click down by the Bug. It's going to be cleanup on top lane as it'll be a 4-for-0 exchange. An absolute bloodbath in favor of Infamous, and oh yeah, they also get the tower. Man, that is what happens when Mad Kings do not have their team fight layered properly. Like, we're looking at Call Down, Static Storm, Earth Splitter, Stomp, Eclipse from the OD. Those are all some sick tools right there. But when you get initiated upon by that big item, that one big item, no, not this. I don't know what this is doing here. No, it's gonna be this. Then it all just doesn't matter. Like, you get hit with that, you better have BKBs. And BKB check, not too far away. He's going for it. BKB check, non-existent here on the OD. Yeah, Infamous just deliver with Schofield's Blink Dagger. So going now towards the Nyx Assassin, he went for a Meteor Hammer. I saw that he was building it. I wasn't sure he was actually getting it, though. Deflect duration. How long does this actually take? So that's 3 seconds. This is 2.4. This is 2.8. I don't think there's like a stun combo here for Nyx like there is for like a Naga Siren or whatever. I mean, just looking at the stat line, really, really useful for the Nyx Assassin. You get some regeneration, you get some extra stats and strength and intelligence. Like, you know, stat line, not cost effective, but it's what he needs. I don't know if this is this the nouveau way of playing Nyx Assassin? If so, I'm not really sure about it, but you know what, Stinger? Prove me wrong, buddy. Show me how sick this build is with this insane gank onto Leo Style. Actually, Leo Style is going to see him coming, so it's not really going to be a surprise. Does land the Impale. Here comes the Burrow Strike and the Hammer combo. All you need is a buddy, and then you have a Grip as well. Dude, these stuns last forever. It's a perfect item. Literally best item in the game. In the meantime, oh, there's a Requiem. Does drive back a couple of Mad King's heroes. They do glimpse back the Tiny. And he is stuck in that Static Storm. Again, really good counter versus the Tiny status resistance. That Static Storm, and now the Drain onto the SF. Does have a couple wand charges. Not going to come in time, though. Earth Splitter deployed as well. Doesn't hit onto much. But the Burrow Strike lines onto 2. And the Gyrocopter is going to get decrepified and saved for a little while longer. Impale him. There you go. He's down. They do stun up 2. So right now, it's just Old Stinger by himself right now. Meteor Hammer save him. Oh, the health regen. It's totally the health regen that saved him. They'll turn around, kill off Sladin, and now try to look for Mogre. Unfortunately, oh, he wasn't sure. He didn't Nightmare him. What happened there? Bane, what you doing? Sand King now gonna get caught, decrepified. Does have enough mana, I think, with the wand charges to just get enough for that Burrow Strike out if need be. Glimpsed back. Trying to blink out to the south. That was not stealthy at all, but I think he should be free and clear. 7 seconds of juking is all he needs right now. Field goes up, though, and they do see him. Blink Dagger canceled, and he's pretty screwed. Shit happens, bro. Shit happens. Gyrocopter, the OD, it's ultimately... Wow, it's a 4-for-4. Yeah, I mean, did make sense. The Pugna was left in the back line the entire time. That was unfortunately Tiny... kind of getting hit with the Tiny Bane, that Static Storm. And Disruptor doesn't have any, well, I guess Thunderstrike technically hit with status resistance, but kind of buffed in that regard. Status resistance doesn't do anything for Static Storm. Status resistance doesn't bring down a kinetic field or anything stupid like that. So you catch that on a Tiny until he has that BKB. Yeah, he's gonna be in for a world of hurt. Pepita very similarly, kind of like I mean, it's a Shadow Fiend with no BKB. You get him in the Static Storm. He's actually not that soft. 1900 HP is quite a bit. But still, you'll kill him off in a hurry. That is the combo. Well, that's actually, like, it's not perfect. I think you should be able to self-imprison yourself as OD if that happened to you. But farm rate-wise, I mean, we very frequently, whenever we see Nyx Assassin, used to see some sort of farm accelerant, usually going to be that Hand of Midas. This kind of acts like a farm accelerant because you can just annihilate a creep wave. I'm not sure if it's better. I'm still not sure if it's good, but that is something that it does for him. So, you know, you can take that to the bank. Oh, are you ready for the sickest stun combos of all time? There's one. Here's the Meteor Hammer with the Burrow Strike on the OG. Now, where's that grip? No, there's no grip this time. Pepita's going to get tagged in. Static Storm does go up. Pretty much does nothing as they'll try to focus Moger instead. They will drain out Leo style, bring him down. Pepita's going to unleash the Requiem. Is going to do a little bit of damage, but the Burrow Strike into the Pugna is going to get them the kill, and that's what's important. Now, here comes the grip. Onto the ET. Excel, unfortunately, kind of got jebaited. His allies all left him behind. He's going to get torn to shreds by Benjez. Still alive, though, as Kataro's going to turn around, do some pretty heavy damage to slide and get the kill. Now, Benjez, the BKB, trying to run, but you know what? The Shadow Fiend went for a right-click build, so he doesn't give a shit about your BKB. Benjez, run! Run faster, fly! Fly to your fountain. Oh, he's going to get a little bit of cover, but it's not in time. The Shadow Fiend is still alive right now, though. None too healthy. He's going to turn out for a raise. And they stack up for the Avalanche. Onto 2. Couple more right clicks, and it's going to be a rampage for Pepita. Oh, he got them all. That's a 5 kill for Pepita, plus 2 extra for 2 other teammates. Excel got one. Someone else got one. I don't know. Something happened there. And that, guys, that right there is my my obvious sample size of why right-click Shadow Fiend is superior to spellcasting Shadow Fiend. Sample size of 1, get a rampage, checks out. And in the chat, all statisticians just facepalmed so hard. It's okay, guys. I know. I'm not a statistician, but I do know that a sample size of 1 is generally not large enough to form proper conclusions. So I will stop saying that. End result, it's going to be another bloodbath in favor of Infamous. 3.4k on the Tiny. Again, that should be a BKB purchase for him. If he wants to be safe, you could kind of YOLO it, but BKB is up on the Shadow Fiend. Looks like that was pretty much it he got. Is there anything else here? Schofield. So yeah, we got some Sand King tech here. He's going to go for a BKB of his own. And Mad King's now forced to fight in their own base. That is kind of a good thing for them, though. I mean, their team fight hasn't really been landing. That Static Storm earlier was around the imprisoned OD, which, like, literally did nothing. But, you know, land a Call Down, land a Static Storm, land an Earth Splitter, and you could do some serious damage. And it's a lot easier to do that when you're defending high ground. The problem is that it may just be a little bit too late. Tiny still isn't going to go for that BKB, so he's still a vulnerable target here. But the Shadow Fiend doesn't give a damn about that. Stinger might give a couple of dams right now. He's going to get imprisoned and kind of trapped here, but the Burrow Strike lands again onto 2. Schofield delivers. Static Storm goes up. Again does nothing as they'll annihilate the Disruptor and now chase forward for Moger. This Pugna is not looking all too hot. He's going to self-decrepify. That's not going to do him any favors. Off on the high ground, it's the OD. Gripped up. Schofield's going to come in with the Epicenter. Cancels that Stomp as well. Excel again. Left behind by his allies, but Kataro now going to come in, stack him up with the Toss and the Avalanche and get a double kill. Probably going to look for a triple as well as Benjez's 1v3. Not going to happen, Benjez. Kataro will grab a triple. And hey, the item's coming out to him, but still this Tiny with the Cleave and the Echo Saber can absolutely do some damage. Infamous once again cash in. Once again, these big heroes of Infamous, Pepita on the Shadow Fiend, the Kataro Tiny, they still survive. They collect huge. In the meantime, they're gonna kind of waffle between going for Rosh and getting random creeps in the jungle. But you know what? Roshan should be the next objective for them. And just by virtue of having a right-click based Shadow Fiend and a Tiny who has an SNY now, so he's joined the SNY club along with that SNY Shadow Fiend, should be a pretty easy pick. No response from Mad Kings, I don't believe, is possible. The team fight, once again, kind of hinges upon the Static Storm. Static Storm limits the enemy's options in response. Like, you can stomp an Earth Splitter, but usually that's just going to be kind of finicky to land. Obviously, OD has to build up a little bit of intelligence beforehand, because right now he's actually working with nothing. Has lofty aspirations, though. Lots of Hand of Midases in his game plans, but you don't really just go in with Sandy's Eclipse. You kind of go in with the Static Storm, and then you Sandy's Eclipse them afterwards. So not having that as a viable way of starting these fights, just simply because it hasn't been landing, that's really bad, man. There's not really much that you can do to kind of enable that as a disruptor. Like, at this point, you just gotta do better. There's no other way of putting it. It's of course gonna get even harder because that Static Storm, of course, doesn't matter versus the SF. Shouldn't matter soon versus the Tiny. 2600 HP, 2000 gold towards the BKB. Like, yeah, you'll have that BKB up, and then your Static Storm is kind of looking underwhelming. Static Storm will also just stun you because Nick Sassen should be able to get that Spike Carapace out. So, yeah, it's not looking all that fun here to play Disruptor. But you know what? They had their chances, Mad Kings. They had like 3 or 4 of them. Now, once again, we have Nick Sassen on the hunt. Unfortunately for him, everyone's going to be TPing out. Infamous just trying to lock down the map, try to get this BKB, try to get Moger killed off. And, well, that will work out pretty well for the Tiny. Pretty easy. But get BKB on Tiny, then use this Aegis to start poking at that high ground. Because you have a right-click based Shadow Fiend, still going for their Shadow Raise damage. I like it. Evasion doesn't really do anything versus Mad Kings, honestly. So it's a pretty easy talent choice to make. But, oh, off to the north side. Here comes the Meme Hammer onto the Disruptor. It's not perfect, but it works. Doesn't get the kill or anything like that, but they do get the grip onto the Elder Titan. It will be canceled immediately by that missile from Benjaz. And now Excel's going to go down, no cover this time. As the Stomp looking to cut off the retreating heroes. Oh, they will land a stun in the Gyrocopter, but a Quick Imprison is going to keep him safe. Now here comes the Requiem. Is it going to keep him safe at all? Force that Faust going to get Benjaz slightly safety, but here comes the Brostrike again from Schofield onto 2, including the OD. They're both going to fall. Now Sladden. Oh, they're just going to call it. They're just out of here, man. Leo style with the expressway out of this game. Dude. Okay, so Schofield's early game Sand King was a little bit YOLO. We all saw it. He was going in just a little bit too far, a little bit too often. But goddamn, those were some Burrow Strikes. I feel like after he got that Blink Dagger, his average Burrow Strike, his average heroes hit by Burrow Strike, it had to have been like 1.8. Something like that. Like, every single time, he landed a 2-man Burrow Strike, and for Mad Kings, because they are so kind of combo-based here in their team fight, you stun a couple of them, and then suddenly you have, like, no Static Storm, or no OD building up intelligence, or no Stomp to kind of combo break and get them back on the fighting end of things. Schofield delivered really, really hard. Of course, you know, you have 13-2-13. Katara obviously just went off as the Tiny. But, damn, those Burrow Strikes. Those Burrow Strikes won Infamous many of those fights. And is going to win them this first game. Guys, Infamous versus Mad Kings fighting for their life here. Winner moves on, loser is out. So now's not the time to be BSing around. Time to put on your serious face, Mad Kings. I'm Mike Loris, guys. I'll be right back for Game 2. You don't want to miss it.